With the appearance of corona and its effect, I see a lot of designers jumping in and then proposing designs for ventilators, how it can be designed. And there, from what I see, is they think it's just putting a few components like a pump and other stuff together, a ventilator can be designed. I just wanted to ensure that people understand the intensity that is needed for designing a medical device through this small presentation. The presentation effectively gives you what is the kind of process intensity that is needed to ensure that a medical device is designed and sold and then serviced. The key aspect of a medical device is the three critical aspects. One is the safety, second is the reliability, third is the process and the data that is collected. These are non-negotiable, and then the medical device needs to meet the mandatory requirements covering these three facts. When it comes to safety, first primary thing is the safety of the patient and the safety of the doctor or the paramedic who is using the equipment. That means the device needs to be safe to use. The safety is covered in three aspects. Number one, when there is a failure, the system ensures that the patient or the doctor does not get into any trouble. Second, the medical environment, which is like operation theaters or CCUs or ICUs, are completely different from the conventional environment that other products work, and these medical devices need to work in those environment. The third is every electronic part or a mechanical part when manufactured has a tolerance, and the medical device is something which needs to work within the extremes of tolerance, especially over a period of usage, which is very, very important. Second is the reliability. When we say reliability, every time and always when the product is switched on, it should work. This means reliability does not happen on its own, and then it has to be done by design. So the key is how your design is done for a reliable functioning. This essentially means what type of components you have chosen, how you have used, what is the source, and also how safe is your system. That means especially medical devices use a lot of mechatronic parts with movement in mechanical as well as electronic component power parts. You need to ensure that over a period of time of the product, which can be 7 to 8 years to all the way to 15 years, the product needs to work consistently with the same performance and same reliability. This essentially happens only when you do a complete thorough review of the product. So medical devices typically go through a review process in their design during their design phase, and medical device design I'm talking about design has a multiple steps, and then starting from user to the design inputs to the design process itself and the design output and the final medical device. Every step has to be reviewed. Every step has to be reviewed by an expert, and the final verification and validation in many cases are done by third party teams who actually are not the designers of the product, but their job is to test it as a user. Then final critical part is the process. Medical device design and development needs a specific set of process which are very, very specific to the medical device, which is mandatory. And not only the process adherence is important, also the documents that come out of the process need to be maintained till the product is in service. This maintenance of document is very important for both design as well as manufacturing. When the design documentations are maintained, they are called as design history files, while the manufacturing equivalent of those documents are called as device master records. That the idea of maintaining the manufacturing document is, in case of a failure in future, if there is a failure in the field, the master records help you to trace back to component level to identify what could have caused the problem. Medical devices also needs special processes, out of which I am listing about 7 or 8 of them, which are very critical for medical devices, which are also very unique to the medical devices. The first one is called as the level of concern analysis, which is basically a checklist of questions. When you answer, tells you the criticality of your product, how critical it is, because based on whether it is a class 1 or a class 2 or a class 3 device, your design process changes. Second is the safety, which typically is ensured in a two-step process. One is the DFMEA, designed for failure effect mode. So the second one is called as the software hazard analysis. Both actually are processes where the design is analyzed for every possible failure, and the mitigation is built into the design to ensure. For example, the easiest I could think of is, let's say a system has a power supply, and this equipment is a ventilator. If the power supply fails, what happens? If it should not lead to ventilator stopping. So that means then the power supply needs to be duplicated, so that if one power supply fails, the next one takes over. Similarly, in the software, for some reason, if the software has a fault or a bug, the overall system software needs to ensure that the bug is isolated. System reboots itself in such a way that it is not harming the patient, but ensures the safety of the patient is guaranteed. And from a reliability perspective, the key process that many designers do not do is called as the worst case design, where every part, both mechanical or electronics, has a minimum tolerance and a maximum tolerance, and your design needs to work with the extreme tolerances of the parts. Many times designers do not look into it. If there is an 1% tolerance for a component, then your design needs to work anywhere from 99% to 101% of the component value. The design should work the way it is supposed to function. Similarly, the other key aspect of ensuring reliability is every requirement of the product is noted down, uniquely numbered, so that when you do the verification and validation of the medical device as a product, you need to submit a test case and the result for every unique requirement that you have captured, ensuring that not a single untested function is left. This is extremely key, and many times I see designers seeing this as a load, and now they try to either delegate it or they don't do it. And a step skipped here can probably delay your product reaching the market in years. And finally, the process that you use both for design and for manufacturing needs to be recorded. The records have to be maintained as long as the product is in use in the field, which is a non-negotiable. And many times designers think it's very easy to just complete the documentation, throw it away and go. No, even the manufacturing records are extremely critical. The idea is, in case of a failure in future, the regulatory authorities should be able to trace back to the root cause of the failure, and for which these documents help a lot. I hope now the designers understand how complex is a medical device design, and and what needs to be done as a medical device. Thanks.